Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new episode. Now last weekend we harvested all of our pumpkins and squash, so this episode will be all about them. I'll be going through all the varieties which we grew, and I'll also be sharing a few tips as well. Pumpkins and squash are one of my favourite things to grow on the allotment, and I think one of the main reasons why is because they're just so incredibly easy to grow. They're very thirsty, so they do need a lot of watering, but apart from that you just let them do their thing all summer long and then harvest them in the autumn, and then you're reaping the rewards the whole winter long because they store really well. If you store them somewhere dry, so we usually keep them in the shed at home, just keep an eye on them. If they are going to rot, they will start to rot at the top first, because this is the most delicate and fragile area. So when you do harvest them, try and harvest them with as much stalk as possible, and they should store a little bit longer. But yeah, my absolute favourite. And it's like when you harvest beans and things like that, I feel like you have to eat them straight away, and I know you can freeze them, but to get that freshness you have to eat them, and when you grow quite a lot of them you do tend to get a little bit bored of them. So the thing I love about squash is that you could just leave them in the shed and just eat them when you want them, and yeah, they're so delicious. So we grew quite a few this year. My dad thinks we grew too much, so he thinks next year we should cut down a little bit, but I think I've just expressed how much I like squash, so I don't really want to cut them down. But I'm just going to go through a few of the varieties with you, and some of them are my absolute favourite. So we'll start with these tiny ones, which, I mean, what's not to love? These are called Munchkin pumpkins, and I think I grew them for the first time when I first had my allotment, which was about 6 years ago now, and I had the best crop ever. I think I harvested about 30 to 40 of these from my little hazel archway. I'm not sure if some of you remember that, but yeah, I had the best crop ever. So ever since then I've grown them every single year, and nearly gave up because they were just a disaster. I think a couple of years I didn't get any, a few years I just got 3 or 4, but yeah, I never gave up. I stuck to it just because I love them so much, and yeah, I've got a really nice harvest this year, which I'm so pleased about. And the good thing about these pumpkins, because they're so small, you can grow them vertically, which is great if you don't have the space. I always grow them vertically just because you can grow things underneath then. For instance, this year we had 2 of our wigwams, and then I had Munchkin pumpkins up one of them. I was meant to grow baby boo pumpkins, which are white versions, up the other one, but none of these seeds germinated, so didn't have any of them this year. But anyway, around the bottom of the wigwams we had our butternut squash growing, so we got quite a few crops from that one area. Also grew borlotti beans up the wigwams as well. So yeah, we got 3 crops from that one area just by growing vertically. And yeah, you can eat these. They are delicious. They look nice and they're delicious. I mean, what more do you want in a pumpkin? I think these are actually squash, but they're called Munchkin pumpkins, so we'll just say they're pumpkins. But what we do with these is we cut the top off, take the insides out, then we stuff it with some kale, some chorizo and a dollop of double cream, and then you just roast it in the oven for 45 minutes. Honestly, they're delicious, and you can eat the skin then as well, so really chuffed with them. I actually haven't counted how many I've got this year, so let's count them. Teddy did actually run off with a few of these, so there might be a few dotted around the allotment still. I really like the ones with like the really, really wiggly stalks. Right, is that it? Oh no, some more under there. 2 more. Stay there, butternut. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, I'm so really chuffed with that. Really, really, really chuffed. So yeah, I'm probably going to use some of these for decoration, but like I said, we will eat them as well. They won't go to waste. Yeah, really, really happy with them. So that's the Munchkin pumpkins, which we grew vertically. And then, like I said, underneath we had the butternut squashes, which we always grow. They are, I mean, we always make soup with our butternut squashes. And it's my favourite soup. We usually make like a batch of it and then we put it into the soup bags to freeze. I think we still actually, yeah, we had some of last year's butternut squash soup for lunch the other day, which was nice. And this variety is called Hunter, which again, I think is a variety which we always grow. It's a bog standard variety, but it's always done really, really well. I mean, they're not particularly big. They all, I mean, I think this is probably like the biggest one, and then they go to like this sort of size. So not a massive crop, but I mean, we got quite a few of them, but they weren't very big. But I'm not one for growing like really, really big, like, you know, you see people growing really big pumpkins. I always just think, what do they do with them? Because this size here, like if we chop that up and have it roasted, I mean, that would do me and my parents quite easily. So it's, yeah, I'm not complaining, quite happy with that. But like I said, we usually just make soup. And I think when my dad said we grew quite a lot and we should cut it down, because if I'm honest, some of them do go a little bit to waste, like some of them rot in the shed because we just don't use them as much as we should. So I think this year I'm going to look a little bit more into recipes to use with the butternut squash, because in previous years we've made curries and just soup. So yeah, look into more recipes and maybe cut them into chunks and freeze them so we can roast them, things like that. But yeah, really love the butternut squash. And then the other squash that we grew is another favourite of mine, Crown Prince, and this is one of the most delicious squashes. They are light blue in appearance, and then inside they have this beautiful bright orange flesh, and yeah, they're lovely. I have grown them previous years, but I think I've probably only just got one per year. This year I got 4. Oh, running out of space now to show you. Might have to move some of the munchkins out the way, or maybe just put them on top. So this tiny one, that's probably the smallest one, but this is the biggest one, and it's, oh, the shape is just lovely. So this one here, and then this is my favourite one. Look at the shape of it. Still a little bit dirty, you need to clean them off. But the shape is just, it's like a proper squash, isn't it? Like a proper pumpkin shape. So yeah, this was the biggest one, and then that was the smallest one. But there's 4 in total. Oh, I forgot to say actually, there were 2 Munchkin pumpkin plants for these 16. And we had 5 butternut squash plants that produced all of these. Again, I haven't counted them. I might try and count them in a minute, but there's quite a lot of them. So I might have to put an amount along the bottom and count them after this video, because it'll probably be a bit boring watching me count. Look at the size, look at that one. Anyway, yeah, 5 butternut squash plants, 2 Munchkin pumpkin plants, and I think there were 2 Crown Prince plants. Yeah, so I mean, not a huge harvest from each plant, but still quite happy with them. Still quite happy. So yeah, these will be enjoyed. Last variety that was grown on the allotment was a new one to me, and the seeds were actually given to me. So I thought, oh, I'll try them. And I actually wanted to grow like a bigger orange variety. I think I had Tom Fox, but again, I don't think any of the seeds germinated. And then I just thought, oh, I'll just put in some of these ones to fill in the gaps. But anyway, the last one is called Queensland Blue, and it's a heritage variety. And I got 2 from one plant. This is the slightly better one. I'm going to say it again, but aren't they beautiful? They are just absolutely stunning. Let me show you a little bit closer. I mean, they're more like a greeny blue, but I suppose you can't really call them Queensland greeny blue. It's not as good, is it? So yeah, never tasted these before, but really, really excited to try them out. Really, really excited. So I'll probably put these, oh no, they might be ruined in a curry, mightn't they? Because those flavours might take over. Definitely going to have to research some more recipes to use these squash with. But yeah, really, really, really happy with the whole harvest. Really chuffed. We're going to have to try and take them home today, but what I'm going to do is clean them off, because some of them still have a bit of dirt on them. So try and get the dirt off, give them a good clean, keep them somewhere dry, and yeah, I would say try and use them within 2 to 3 months. That's probably your maximum, because once one starts to go mouldy, then the rest will probably follow. So if you do find one that is starting to go, then remove it from the rest, and yeah, try and use them up as quickly as possible. But so pleased, so pleased. Actually, there's quite a nice colour range on all of these as well, actually, because like I was saying, I wanted to grow a slightly bigger orange one. I don't know why. But yeah, really pleased with these. Really, really pleased. I think my favourite has to be the Munchkin pumpkins though. I mean, they're just so cute. Just so cute. But I do like the blue coloured ones. I actually grew, I can't remember what they were called now, but they were pink and quite warty. I grew them last year and I think I got one. I can't remember what they were called. They were French, I think. But yeah, they were really nice as well. I mean, you shouldn't really grow pumpkins for what they look like anyway, should you? But they do look nice for decoration as well as eating. But these will all be enjoyed very, very soon, I'm sure. Anyway, that's about it. I've talked long enough about pumpkins and squash. So yeah, I better load these back into the trolley and try and get them to the car without any falling off. So wish me luck. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next episode.